On average, women lose about 30% of their collagen in the first 5 years after they enter menopause. Wow. That is absolutely incredible. So, how do we set ourselves up for success for the best skin that we can possibly have going into and after menopause? That's what we're going to talk about in this video today. And I'm also going to review for you guys a product that I've been testing out for a few months. And I am so delighted to be sharing this with you now because spoiler alert, I've been super impressed and I've been waiting to share this with you. And that is the Emepelle product. Now I do have the night cream and I also have the serum. And we're going to do a breakdown of ingredients and that whole thing. We're going to talk about the technology and who it's for and why I think it is fantastic if you are someone sort of in my age range, but even if you are entering your 40s, this might be something that you want to at least educate yourself about. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I'm a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon. I am so excited that you're here today because I have been living in blissful ignorance about menopause. I literally feel like it was just a few years ago that my husband and I were floating around the idea of having a third child, and I blink and I'm in perimenopause. Literally, that is how it has felt for me. Now, I don't know if you are the same way, but I literally didn't really consider estrogen or its effects on my skin probably until about 6 months ago. And I figure if me, someone who is pretty into skin, isn't bothering to or didn't bother to look into that area of skincare, then I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of you out there that are the same way. Now, what can we do in the lead up to our 40s? Because I get asked this all the time. Now, to put it really concisely, in your 20s, sunscreen. Sunscreen is the best thing that you can do because aging, of course, is a matter of chronological years going by, but it's also, things like your genetics, it is your exposure to the sun, and then it is your hormones also. Now it's lifestyle. There's all kinds of things that figure into this, but in your 20s, literally you should be in protect mode. So you are going to wear your sunscreen. You maybe are going to use some antioxidants. You might introduce vitamin C. You get into your 30s, and that's when aging starts to kind of dawn on all of us. We start to realize that we aren't 20 anymore. Now, at that point, that's when I suggest starting to employ things like the ABCs. You're going to introduce your retinoids. You're going to make sure you get a little bit of niacinamide in your routine if you can tolerate it. You're going to have your vitamin C, whether it's a derivative or it's L-ascorbic acid. And then as our 30s progress, that's when I think we start to introduce the devices. This is when microneedling can come into play because microneedling is collagen induction therapy. Anything that we can do to stimulate the production of collagen and encourage its synthesis in our skin prior to entering pre and perimenopause is only going to kind of give us a better starting point when we head into menopause. That's how I look at it. So in your late 30s, that's when you can start to introduce the things that are going to stimulate collagen production beyond just your skincare. Now, as soon as you hit 40, there is something that is happening that most of us aren't even aware of or take note, and that is estrogen decline. Now, why does that matter? It matters because we have receptors in our skin that are estrogen receptors, and when they interact with estrogen, they help to spur on collagen production and elastin production and hyaluronic acid production in our skin. Those things are responsible for the structure of your skin and kind of the framework that's holding it up. It's also responsible for the bounce of your skin, the ability for it to just look juicy and youthful. And then, of course, hyaluronic acid is hydration. And I'm talking about the hyaluronic acid that's actually produced in your skin. You start to decline in estrogen, and those things correlate, and they are also declining. Now, they're declining just because of our chronological age. I mean, they're declining just because we're blessed to be on this earth another year. We are also going to be blessed with the degradation and the loss of collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. That's just going to happen. And I mean, honestly, the way I look at it, my mom always says, well, it's better than the alternative. And that is the truth. Aging is not to be vilified in any way. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful my mother's here. And I really could care less about a few wrinkles if it meant not being here or her not being here. But when you set that aside, if we can take the best care of our skin that we can, if we can have the best skin that we can, of course, I think most of us want to do that. Okay, so there is something called estrogen deficient skin. And basically all that means is that as that estrogen declines over time, starting around 40, it's very, very slow and gradual, then we start to notice its correlating effects on those things that we just talked about, the collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. Our skin can get thin, it can get drier, it can lose its structural kind of composition, so it starts to sag. All of those things are slowly happening. Then we enter perimenopause and it starts to increase. That decline in estrogen speeds up a little bit. It's just a little bit more. Every year it's a little bit more than it was the year prior as you're into your 40s. Then when you hit menopause, which is about average of 51, but it can be anywhere from 40 to 58, right? So the 51 is just an average. Everybody is different, and there are different reasons for entering menopause. You could just be, entering menopause because of your chronological age, and that's when it happens. But there are also things like surgical menopause, and there are conditions, of course, that cause people to go into menopause prior to 40. Now, when that happens, that is when we get that 30% decline in collagen over 5 years. And I don't know, I think that number is absolutely shocking. I mean, if you think about 30%, that is why one day you are thinking that, you haven't really aged a ton, and literally it feels like overnight you start to notice, whoa, what is going on? How come I all of a sudden feel like I look so much older? It is that rapid decline that happens at menopause. So what can we do about it? Obviously, there are therapies that exist when you talk to your doctor. And I am in no way an expert in any of that. So I am going to put a bunch of links in the description box of resources that I think could be helpful for all of the things that go on with menopause that aren't necessarily just skin related. And then, of course, I'm going to encourage you to talk to your doctor and prepare. And, you may be somebody that wants to consider HRT, that is hormone replacement therapy. For me, that's not an option. My mother had breast cancer 2 years ago. It's not an option for her. Not only is HRT or topical estrogen not an option for my mother, she takes tamoxifen to negate any estrogen that might be there so that she doesn't have recurrence of breast cancer. Hopefully that will help to stave off, because estrogen is sometimes a factor in certain breast cancers. So because that's my mother's situation, and because my mother had breast cancer, I have a little bit of a higher percentage of possibly having breast cancer. My personal choice would be not to apply any estrogen to my skin, and definitely not to use any kind of HRT. So where does that leave someone like me, or someone who doesn't want to use HRT, doesn't want to use topical estrogens? Well, we can prepare ourselves as best we can. Like I just talked about, your 20s, your 30s, you can really try to get yourself to the best place prior to going into menopause. But now we have a product on the market that is stinking exciting, you guys. I haven't really been this excited about a technology in a long time, because it's one of a kind. And it is in the Emepelle products. Now, this is not sponsored. They are not paying me to make this video. They sent me this product and I've been testing it out for months, and I've been researching it for a very, very long time. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And the technology that is in here, along with a ton of other good ingredients that we are going to go over, is something called MEP. I'm going to put the full name up on the screen here. Basically what it is it is not a hormone. It is not an estrogen. And what it does is it takes those estrogen receptors in your skin and they think they're getting estrogen. So they behave like they got their estrogen, and people see improved thickness of their skin, improved hydration, improved collagen, improved elastin, all of the things that our skin saw when it had the appropriate amount of estrogen when we were younger. That is what the kind of cornerstone of this product line is all about. Now I want to do a deep dive into each of these products, and I want to talk about the ingredients that are in there, not only the MEP, because it's chock full of all kinds of fantastic ingredients otherwise that are also very, very good for your skin. So in the night cream, this is kind of a balm-like texture. It has shea butter in it, so it's actually quite nice on the skin. Now, it does also contain retinol. Now, retinol is a vitamin A. It's a relatively weak form of vitamin A, but it's definitely shown to help with skin or cell turnover, as well as training your cells to behave properly. And also it can help with pigmentation problems and just overall anti-aging. And retinol, along with retinaldehyde and retin A, are all vitamin A's, and they are all able to help with collagen synthesis. So that's a fantastic ingredient in there all by itself. So the second ingredient in the balm is niacinamide. Now, niacinamide is vitamin B3, great for the appearance of your pores, great for your barrier function. It is a pigment inhibitor. It can help to brighten your skin. Niacinamide is one of my favorite ingredients, and it's number 2 on the list. That is such a fantastic ingredient just to have in your skincare arsenal. Now, also in this is glycerin, and it has that shea butter like I talked about, which is going to help to, hydrate your skin and give your skin kind of that suppleness. And it's also a great buffer for that retinol. Now, of course, this also has the MEP technology, and it also has grapeseed oil. It is just chock full of fantastic ingredients aside from the MEP technology. The way that I used this and the way that they suggest to use this is that you use it 3 times a week to start at night. And they do recommend that this is at night because it does have that retinol, which can make you more sensitive to the sun. And, it's a good nighttime product. Now, you're going to use this three times a week for like 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks. And then you move to 4 times a week. You're going to do that for a couple weeks. And then you can move on up to 5 times a week. I am now at pretty much every night. I use this almost every night. I love the way it feels on my skin. I have not given up other things in my skincare routine. I know that somebody's going to ask, and yeah, I'm not giving up other things. I'm still cocktailing and using all kinds of things. You do not have to give up your tretinoin, although it's important to note that because it does have retinol in it, you're getting your retinoid in this product, and you double up and use your tretinoin, you want to watch for irritation for sure. But the point is, you don't have to. They are not saying give up your tretinoin, because tretinoin or retin A is the gold standard as far as anti-aging. And I'd be hard pressed to ever tell anybody to give up retin A, especially as they are in menopause and beyond. So you can use this with anything else that you currently use in your skincare routine. It is okay with vitamin C. It is okay with your alpha hydroxy acids, all of that kind of stuff. I am going to put a frequently asked questions. I made a big list of questions and I sent it off to Emepelle that I thought might be questions that you would have for me. I'm going to put those along with a blog post on my website. Now, my website actually launches today. It's PENN.SMITH.SKINCARE.com. I'm still working on it, but I am launching it today. There will be a blog post that goes along with the Emepelle, and I'm going to give a lot of information in print for you to look at, but also you will see the frequently asked question list there. So likely, if you've got a question, it'll probably be answered there. Now, when we move on to the serum, this serum is meant to use in the morning. And they did do clinical studies, and we're going to go through that as well. And the clinical studies were with people using this at night and people using this in the morning. Now, the serum is chock full of all of the good things that we want in our skincare, you guys. It has niacinamide again in it. In the morning, you're going to use this. This has peptides and antioxidants. Of course, it still also has that MEP technology. Now, this is, as the name would suggest, a serum. So it's kind of a thicker gel kind of serum. It's not a thin serum. You only use one pump. I made the mistake of using a lot more than that because I'm an overuser of products and it's really wasteful. You only need one pump and you spread it around on your face, your neck, your décolleté. I prefer to use my Sukiyaki Suhara. I like to use essences first, and before they're completely dry, that is when I will apply a serum like this, especially one that is expensive and one that I don't want to overuse. I want to give it as much slip and permeability as I possibly can. So that's just a little tip. If nothing else on damp skin from cleansing or from rinsing your skin in the morning, that's how I would use this serum, so that a little bit goes a long way, just one pump. Now, some other things that are in this is we have the MEP technology, of course, but we also have superoxide dismutase. Now, you guys know I have talked about superoxide dismutase ad nauseum because I love it so much. It is what is in my NIOD superoxide dismutase saccharide mist that is a holy grail product for me and would actually be fantastic sprayed first before putting this on in the morning. And I love it. It's a fantastic antioxidant that is anti-inflammatory and can help to calm your skin, plump it, hydrate it, the whole thing. It is just a wonderful ingredient. Let's talk a little bit about clinical studies because I think that this is super important. They did do some great clinical studies. I did a screen recording off of their website and I want to share that with you. And while I go over a clinical study, I am going to link the study in the description box so that you can go and read it in full yourself. But what I love is on their website, they have these before and after sliders, and they used women who are like between ages in their early 50s to I think late 60s or early 70s. And I will read it when I get to the study, but they used real women with actual fine lines and wrinkles and some pigment issues. They use real people that you can actually see a difference in their skin. And they have one of those sliders, and I will show you in the screen recording that I did. And I think it's just really cool to see. Something that is important to see is, or to know, is that the further out you are from menopause, the longer this will take to work. And I think that that's the case with any kind of hormone replacement or topical estrogen or anything like that. If you are 10 years out of having gone through menopause, any of this stuff is going to take a little bit of time to reverse some of the effects of having estrogen deficient skin. So know that if you are somebody who just is in menopause, you're going to see your results faster. You are somebody who's, further out from menopause, you just have to be consistent and you have to give it time. Take a look at this screen recording, and I'm going to go through this study, you guys. So basically, they had ladies who were 53 to 68 years old. And they had already been on average out of menopause by about 5 years. They all had, decently fine to moderate depth wrinkles and a moderate number of lines. And what they did was they had them use the Emepelle at night and they had them use the Emepelle in the morning, the complete system. And they did follow-up visits at 8 weeks, 14 weeks, and 20 weeks to evaluate the efficacy and the safety. Now, what they found, the results were that 100% of the study participants by week 20 showed at least 1 grade improvement, and 93% saw 2 grades of improvement in the hydration of their skin. 100% of the study participants showed aesthetic improvements, just investigator assessed aesthetic improvement by week 14. By week 20, 93% of the study participants responded that the combination of Emepelle serum and night cream regimen helped to improve their wrinkles, their texture, their color, and 86% of the study participants responded that Emepelle helped improve sun damage, thickness, and integrity. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that those are some really cool results. None of this is going to make any of us look like we're 30 years old. That's all there is to it. But if we have a way to use something that is not a hormone, it is applied to your skin, the MEP, and it causes those estrogen receptors to believe that they are getting estrogen, but it is not a hormone. That is so important to know. It literally gets metabolized by your body and becomes this innocuous metabolite in your bloodstream. And I think that that is what makes this so revolutionary to me, especially as someone, as a daughter of someone who has had breast cancer. It just really, I mean, HRT, once I did start studying all of this and estrogen deficiency and all of that, HRT is just already something that I'm not going to do personally. And if you do, and you have talked to your doctor and that's working for you, I do think that that's awesome. I definitely think that that is awesome. But I know that there are a lot of people that is just not an option for you. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to continue to use Emepelle. I will continue to update on, changes I might notice in my skin. But what I have noticed so far is I have noticed that my skin just looks a little bit better. Now, that could be because niacinamide and retinol and, superoxide dismutase, those are all great things for your skin. I don't have deep wrinkles yet. I don't have a ton of lines yet. In my opinion, perimenopause is the time to, step up my game seriously as far as estrogen deficiency is concerned. So if that is you, this is something that you might want to investigate. And again, I'm going to put all those resources in the description box about menopause and other things that might interest you to learn about menopause. And hopefully it will help some of you out there that have been blissfully ignorant just like me. And all of a sudden are like, wait a second, here I am. Here I am, Okay, you guys, I hope that you have a fantastic day. Definitely check the description box. There is going to be opportunity for discounts and freebies. Emepelle has offered a code to me to give to you so that you can order this with a discount, or at least get a free gift along with it, depending on where you live in the world. So check the description box for that. This will be a subject that we talk about again, and it will also be, of course, on the blog on my website. I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.